should be. I am on one today. I've gotten so much done. I think I'm half asleep. I might be a zombie now.
I think you're a zombie. Just much work on things, none of you'll have any clue how much work. Crazy. It's crazy.
I don't have to retweet some of the thing.
Wait, what?
Work things. I just have to retweet it on like the joiner circle account.
It's been nuts, hasn't it? Like everything.
Have you seen our followers since you probably got on? It's like another 100.
We literally have like 500 followers. And it's been nuts. Like everything's been blown up at Fantasy Intervention. It's because of you guys, to be honest. Like, yeah, everybody's on here. We're gonna make sure that we take care of y'all. We're gonna make sure we do a couple tweets a week to shout out everybody that's been writing. It's been nuts, and I love all y'all for that. But tonight, we're here to talk football. We are here to talk football and the Saleh Implications. So let's go ahead and get this episode kicked off with a song. You guys sing along?
I thought this was a Garrett video.
Oh, you're probably right about that. So.
This is Fantasy Intervention. Now here to intervene with your fantasy life, Chase Vernon.
It's kind of crazy, right? Because I am beyond exhausted, but I'm also sure my retweets are beyond exhausted as well. Looks like we have some people that are hopping in. Oh my God. Oh my God. We have quite a crew joining us tonight to talk about the implications of Robert Saleh and, you know, what's going on over there, because it's been crazy. First off, we have my co-host, as normal, Steffi Smalls. What's going on, Steffi? How you doing tonight?
I'm good. I was just taking my dinner out because I woke up at 2 p.m. today. So now I am just about to make the first meal of my day.
Was that a White Claw that you pulled out of the microwave?
What did you
Was that a White Claw as your first meal of the day?
Yeah, this was my first meal. So I guess this is my second meal.
Oh God! All right, and then we have Brad Bolt over there from Australia coming in to give us his opinion on what's going on with Robert Saleh.
How we going?
Oh man, of
Steph,
course,
you're on that Australian time.
I know. It's because I just want to be just like you. So like now I'm like trying to readjust my sleep schedule.
Oh, please bust out your Australian accent. I would love to hear that.
I don't think that the claws are ready for me to do that. I think I would try to do like a British accent or something.
I'm gonna die on this podcast tonight. And then of course we have DFS with Dan. How you doing, Dan? That's all we get. All right, so sitting here, moving on. We do have special guests.
You're muted. You're muted, Dan. I know. I do it all the time.
Yeah, I'm a noob. I was trying to shout out Brad. I said, I'm feeling extra cultured tonight. I busted out my Globe pillowcase for you guys.
Oh, good man.
I'm just trying to represent for everybody, you know?
I'm especially excited, though, because we have Matt Donnelly back with us, which we haven't had since like week 6 or 7, Matt. Is that correct?
Thanks for gracing us with your presence.
I don't know. I keep popping in. I heard we had Australia represented. I want to keep the Commonwealth kind of going here, so a little representation for Canada here as well. Got to keep rocking. But yeah, I pop in here every once in a while.
Matt, you're one of my favorite guests of all time, so you're more than welcome to pop in any time that we actually have somebody coming in. Matt, like you're somebody that helped me get started over here, and we're excited to have you. And then, of course, God, how do I read this name? For whom? Underscore. Wait.
For whom?
All
Chris,
right.
are you okay?
No. All right.
I'm really worried.
It's late.
It is. But go ahead and give a shout out for your name and everything. What's going on over there?
Yeah, Jeff Bell. You know, it's my podcasting streaming debut, so I'm
Right.
excited to be here.
Yeah.
Happy to talk about the coaching hires. So, hi everybody.
Jeff, you won the contest with us, right?
Yes, he did.
I did win a contest with you.
You
guys.
won.
Yes.
He is
yeah, the
one
other
of
day I won a
winners.
contest.
Apologize, man. Like, it's been a very long day. Like, I've been up since 7 a.m. It's been a
Hey.
very long day. We've had a bunch of adventures come up.
I see you grinding away, so I can only imagine.
It's been fun, man. And honestly, like, yeah, I'm doing some grinding, but this team is doing so much more than I am as a whole. Like, I'm trying to keep up. I'm running as fast as I can to keep up with the fantasy intervention team. And actually, dude, the Dynasty Vipers doing a lot of stuff too. You guys have a magical guest coming up, right?
Yeah, we do. Well, we just had one of the best in the game when it comes to scouting, like you guys did. We had Eric Crocker, by the way. If you can get him, reach out to him. He'll jump on. Dude has so much energy, man. It was fantastic to talk to him. He, if you don't know his story, he basically went to junior college, dropped out, went back to junior college, got a scholarship, went to the Arena Football League, and then he ended up going to the Jets in 2014 and then back to the Arena Football League. So he took a real path. Anyway, Sunday, I'm going to make a big announcement of our guest on for Wednesday afternoon. We got a special, I want to say it's about 2:30 Pacific time, so 5:30 Eastern. We got a big time guest coming on, so we're really excited about that.
I can only imagine, man. I could really only imagine. But right now, we're here to talk about Robert Saleh. And prior to his addition to whatever team he ends up with, which we already know what team he ends up with, what was y'all's first impression of Robert Saleh? Like, we'll start with Donnelly over there. Like, is he somebody that you wanted to coach your team?
I don't know if you've noticed, but when he's on that sideline, he fires his guys up. They respond to him. On the defense, he's out there. He's patting them on the butt. He's slapping them on the head. He gets them fired up. The players want to play for him. They want to run through a wall for him, and I think that's kind of what the unit needed. I think coming off of Gase, I think Gase's message was blocked out a long time ago. And when Robert comes in there, I think he's going to set that tone right off the get-go. And for Miami, I think the Jets are going to actually take the form of their coach. And I think it's going to be a positive relationship between players, coaches, and you're going to see it on the field. It's going to take probably a year and a half to get there. But if they keep with Darnold, they draft, what's his name, the tackle there, Sewell out of Oregon. Then you got Becton. You got your line set up going forward, and that's going to be what sets their tempo on their offense, having those big, bruising tackles, physical game, and that's what Saleh is going to bring to them.
So sitting there looking at it, like, I mean, is this a situation as to where, we could actually prove moving forward before we cover that? Like, is there anybody here that actually disagrees that Saleh should not be a head coach?
Is there really any coach that wouldn't be better though? Like, also, I mean, it was a great hire though.
Maybe Jason Garrett, but yeah.
Well, I mean, Jason Garrett definitely would have been a better hire.
God, I swear, really,
That's
really,
stressing me.
Dan?
I don't know if I can get there.
It's okay.
No,
you're
Dan's
right,
just trying
you're
to
right. I was-
Manifest.
I was-
Please, everyone, just manifest. I need him gone.
All right, so everybody agrees
I
that it's
agree.
Yeah, it was a great hire.
Yeah.
yeah.
I was going to say, I agree with Matt. He brings a lot of energy, great relationship with players, and I think that those players on the Jets will thrive in that type of environment after having Gase for 3 years or 2 years or
Yeah,
whatever.
if you look at some of these teams that have been pretty bad, I think they're certainly trying to rebuild culture, but I think that they're seeing it too as bringing in a defensive guy, maybe a quicker route to competitiveness or developing the young quarterback, and then they kind of the offensive coach hire is big on developing the quarterback and developing the offense and allowing the defensive-minded coach to handle overall team culture.
So sitting there looking at, do we have a candidate in mind? And while we sit there and think about it, and we contemplate if we have an offensive coordinator in mind, how much does Robert Saleh remind you, Jeff Bell, of the Rex Ryan era?
I don't think he doesn't strike me as a Rex Ryan coach. To be a Bills fan, he's trying McDermott more so. I think that that blue collar culture that he's going to try to bring in. He grew up in Detroit area. I was frankly surprised that the Lions were pushing harder. I know that the legislature in Michigan were people writing letters and whatever else trying to get him hired. In that regard, I do think he's more of a Sean McDermott type over Rex Ryan. Rex Ryan was all about flash and making himself show, whereas Sean McDermott is going to bring in a more of a blue collar approach, and that's what I expect the Jets to kind of adapt. Flores is kind of down in Miami, and you look at divisions have a tendency to copy the good teams in the division, and I think that's what the Jets are aiming for here with Saleh.
It's going to be very interesting. Steph, do you have an opinion on this?
It's not Jason Garrett, so I'm obviously upset, but it was a good pick, I think. I think the Jets are in a good place right now. If they stay with Darnold too, and they totally monopolize on their draft picks and are smart, unlike they've been for quite literally years, I think they're in a really good place.
And I like how you brought Rex Ryan into this whole thing. I think the biggest difference between Rex Ryan and the new coach there in New York is I don't think Saleh is much of a foot person, so to speak, like Rex Ryan was. I don't think he's really into the feet. So,
come on, really? That's what you had to add? Damn it, Matt.
Because you're for the hard-hitting analysis. But no, the biggest thing I think I take away from all this is Dable only interviewed for 2 coaching positions, and the Jets just hired. So there's only 2 interviews.
Chargers! Let's go!
Those are the only 2 positions he got interviews for so far.
That's actually really important to know. But honestly, I love the fact of him ending up with the Chargers, man. I really do. All right, so let's hop over to Brad. Brad over there. Are you sitting there loving this landing spot? What's going on, man?
Oh, I like Saleh because I think towards the back end of the year, the Jets defense started to improve a bit. They got a couple good pieces there. I mean, I like Marcus May. They've got CJ Mosley coming back next year. But I also like the fact that I think Red Schefter sort of reported that they're bringing the passing game coordinator from the 49ers in Mike LaFleur across, who has spent his time with the Browns and the Falcons and the 49ers with Kyle Shanahan. So I like that he might be able to bring that type of offense across to the Jets as well. And whether they keep Darnold or whether they go and draft another quarterback at number 2 or something like that. I like that. Bringing him across to improve that offense, which has been pretty trash for a while.
That'll be very interesting to see if Sam Darnold's actually going to be a functional quarterback in fantasy next year, because they're passing short constantly. They're working off tight end. They're working off the short receptions. So it'll be very interesting. But maybe Chris Herndon, right? Chris Herndon. Did we talk about that last show? Oh, we did. Oh. Chris Herndon might actually be relevant. We'll see what happens. But I want to hear over there from Dan. What's going on, Dan?
Yeah, I was going to touch on Chris Herndon. I was going to say if he comes from a Shanahan-based offense, you look at Austin Hooper with the Falcons and then Kittle with the 49ers. It's a lot of run action with a crossing game with the tight end or screens on the back side of the receivers. So Crowder will obviously be a boom. And then, the big question, Herndon. Do they go and just replace Herndon, or do they try to make that work? It'd be interesting to see. Saleh, again, I want to touch on what Matt said. He brings so much energy. You think he was with Legion of Boom, a defense that had a ton of energy. And then the 49ers last year, he won a Super Bowl in Seattle. And then he took the 49ers, or he was a part of that Super Bowl team, appearing team last year. So, ton of potential. I love the hire.
So sitting there and looking at it, we're looking at the defensive setup, right? And Saleh's obviously the defensive guy. Is he going to hire a defense coordinator to come in, or is he just going to take over the whole defense? That's what I want to know.
He'll take over the D. I reckon he build up that D and make them scary and go from there.
He's going to take that D. All right. Matt,
can't say things like that when I'm on the stream. I'm really trying to control myself and be way more of a professional lately. So please just
don't know.
Control.
Robert's Saleh going to take the D.
I wanted to say it because I just wanted to see Steffi's reaction on a live just to see if she'd lose it or not.
To be a better person lately, please.
She's so like frustrated. Oh my god,
Shit.
it's amazing. Oh, Matt Donnelly, is Saleh going to take that D or what?
Well, like Steph, I've been trying to clean up my language too. I haven't sworn on a podcast in like 3 shows, so we're doing really really good.
Do that.
All I'm
Yeah, I
asking
know.
is he's going to take the D or not. Come on, guys.
It's going to be interesting because what the 49ers did, they ran a lot of 4-3 fronts, right? That's kind of how they had it going. Well, the Jets currently are set up with a 3-4, which may make things a little more interesting because they don't have what I would consider edge guys, so to speak. I really like Bryce Huff there. He's back on the depth chart a little bit. A guy we profiled last year before the draft. But the pieces right now that the Jets have in place make it difficult, in my opinion, to go to the 4-3 because they don't have that defensive front. When you're looking at guys like Nathan Shepard, oh boy, this is going to be another segment. Dingus dialect, where I try and pronounce people's names. Fatukasi or whatever, Fatukasi, I think he's there, and then Henry Anderson. Not exactly what he had in San Francisco. So maybe that's something where he puts his signature on the defense is through the draft early on, trying to get that defensive line set up. So does he take the D? I don't think he necessarily takes the D, but
he gives the D.
He's going to show. He's going to help guide the D to his coordinator.
Jeez, you're setting me up for failure right now. Like, I feel like you're trying almost. I think this is awful. Okay, yeah, you're right. I agree about the D. I think guiding the D makes sense. Like, I probably would have made that comment next.
Jeff, are you in agreement for guiding the D? Are you going to guide the D?
You know, I think he's going to put his imprint on the D for sure. But I do think that we've seen coaches struggle in the past when they make sure that they keep control of that D and not make a good hire on that defensive coordinator and hand that off a little bit. But he's certainly going to want to shape the D and make it in his image. But I do think that he'll make that defensive coordinator hire, and I think it's going to be a good fit for that.
Dan, how are you feeling about the D?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's pretty safe to say that Saleh's got a pretty good feel for the D. They've got a nice secondary. They drafted Ashton Davis this year. They got Marcus May, so they got 2 nice safeties. They got Quinnen Williams up front with a couple of the linebackers we touched on. CJ Mosley, who opted out this year, could be a big piece for them. So you got a nice looking D, I think.
They've got a growing D.
Yeah,
you're
fucking brilliant. You said they have a growing D. Is that what
Everyone
they're
loves
growing the
a
D?
good D. Like, that's really what it comes down to. Is he knows how to manage the D, he knows how to get the D, and he has a great D. You know.
But how is the feel on the D?
Hashtag analysis.
He's a curator of the
On the
D.
D?
He's a big D fan.
Oh my god! All right, this is great.
He's going to trim up that D.
Bringing big D in.
Throughout his history, the way he's handled his D
Really,
in the NFL, it's been very impressive. Like we said, we talked about that Legion of Boom and how the D and the boom worked really well. And then, of course, in San Francisco.
we're online. Fuck. Okay, continue. Sorry.
All right, so I want to know how they kind of, I don't know, instruct Darnold to handle the D. Like, how are you guys feeling about Darnold handling the D?
I think seeing the D in practice every day is going to be a big one for him.
He needs more. Also, can everyone act like Darnold didn't go top 3 in the draft? Like, why are we acting like Darnold is such a piece of shit? Like, Fucking Gase
I think he's
sucks.
going to have the D coming at him from all.
He's
from
gonna
all
find
angles
the
in
D,
practice.
and then he's just gonna go off on he's just gonna go off. That's all he needs. He just needs
Is he
a
actually
little.
going to find the sweet spot? That's my
Sometimes you
big
just
question.
need a
He hasn't
little
been able to
D.
find the sweet spot on a consistent basis. So is he going to
Steph-
find that sweet spot on a regular basis moving forward? And is he going to be enough to satisfy, the pass catchers?
He's going. What he's going to do is he's going to end up on his back a lot because of the D.
The last thing you want is for him to start seeing ghosts because the D's coming at him from so many different angles. It's.
This is such a great show.
The good thing with Darnold is he's got to improve from last year. I think there's things that Saleh can actually teach him about the D, and when he's out there and the different looks and being comfortable, because you just talked about he was seeing ghosts last year at times, and he admitted it, which is like the first thing you don't admit. You don't admit to seeing ghosts. It's just you don't do it. It gets your teammates all in a kerfuffle and whatnot. But I think these are coaching things and where he can understand. So I think there's going to be that mentorship quarterback coach thing. I don't think that's what we had with Gase. I don't even know what Gase did. Gase's biggest thing is Peyton Manning. That's his claim to fame right now. And then apparently the Eagles are in on Gase too. So who knows where that's going.
Wasn't Peyton Manning like 1,000 years old too when he coached him? Like, what the fuck? Shut up, Gase, you dumb idiot.
Well, that's it. Exactly. So then you flip that to the defense. See what I did there? For the Jets isn't good. So I don't think it's going to make him that much better next year seeing that defense in practice.
What's the defense? Sorry, I'm only familiar with the term D.
Well, what I'm going to say is he's probably going to see better D in game action when it comes time to play rather than in practice.
What you're saying is Gase was kind of preventing everyone from getting good D.
Greg Williams was preventing good D.
Correct.
Oh my god.
A lot of
And the
D
first
blocking over
decision,
there.
first decision they need to make is the second pick, because if they're committed to Darnold, I'm really high on Fields, and I think they're crazy if they're not shopping that pick to be able to build up the D in depth of the draft. Whereas sitting at 2, Seal looks nice at the left tackle, but that D does need some support. And moving back from 2 and maybe an RG package for Fields if somebody's willing to up and allow them to build up the D further.
Yeah, he could trade back to 12 with the 49ers and help them get a quarterback maybe. Obviously, there's a relationship there.
There's the 49ers. He certainly has that relationship. I can't imagine he trades with the Jets or the Patriots. But, for a quarterback, the Panthers at 7 could be for a quarterback. Yeah, their team's that phone's gonna be ringing for Fields. I have a feeling, or if you're a Zach Wilson person, that might be the case too.
I'm projecting this
crazy to take a quarterback. I actually think it's insane. I feel like they should at least have take Darnold for what he is. He still got drafted very high, so essentially, they should utilize him and monopolize on the fact that they can just continue to stack around him. I don't know. I'm a big Jets keeping Darnold fan.
I honestly
they need to be realistic about where they are too. I don't know how good they're going to be next year, but they might be looking at a higher draft pick again next year too, and giving Darnold.
That's what I'm saying, but
first year coach.
Yeah.
I honestly feel like this is going to be probably the most traded with year in the entire NFL history, because certain teams are finding a way around certain salary caps and restrictions, and this is just going to be a massive trading year. But with that being said, where are we going to sit there and rank this team moving forward? Brad, we're going to start with you.
Say that again. I missed it. Just cut out in my headphones.
We're going to rank these teams moving forward. Are we sitting there believing that some of these teams' new coaches are going to just go off, or are they going to just falter in most cases?
I think Saleh will make the Jets a better defensive team. I think their offense is going to be lacking for a little while. I reckon they're probably, if you're going to give the job to Saleh. He's the sort of guy who you give him a couple years, so he'll work up his the defensive side of the ball, and then if they keep Darnold, try and utilize later picks to maybe then try and improve the offense, but sort of more like a 2 to 3 year plan for them. I think he'll actually be a good coach, and I think with LaFleur coming across with the tutelage under Shanahan, I reckon we'll start to see the offense start to resemble that Kyle Shanahan sort of look.
How are we feeling over there? Jeff? What's going on?
I think they're going to be bad. I mean, you look at the division. I can't imagine the Patriots turning in another bad year under Belichick. I have to get a guy enough that he's going to get it turned around quickly. At his age, he's not going to look at a multi-year rebuild. Obviously, I'm a Bills fan, and I love the direction the Bills are heading in. And you look at the young and how they were at the verge of the playoffs. I think it's going to be rough next year. But certainly, they'll be able to, as long as he can manage those expectations in New York, and obviously we know, especially that's how things can get upside down. They do have a lot of cap space, and I think they could be aggressive on making some moves, potentially targeting some younger players and start to build up the depth of the roster a little more.
All right, let's hear it, Dan. What's up, Dan?
Yeah, I kind of leaning towards Jeff there. I mean, the division's going to be tough probably. I think they'll take steps towards improving their team, obviously with their draft picks and their salary cap. And they got a couple of nice young pieces, but they really have no running game to speak of. I mean, unless you're pinning your hopes to Ty Johnson or something, I think they got to bring in like a bell cow type of running back. I know that's one of your boys. That was not a shot at you or anything like that. But yeah, no, I mean, it's a good hire. And like Brad said, I think it'll take more like 2 or 3 years for them to actually see some type of success. But I think we'll see small steps even as soon as next year.
Steph, the question is Saleh going to actually change the franchise? It's going to be that major piece that changes everything.
Is it my turn to answer, or are you just reminding me because I don't know what the question was?
No, it's your turn to answer.
Okay, cool. I think that no matter what, it's going to be an improvement from the scenario that they were in. I mean, I can't believe Gase and the ability of what he did over there to just like annihilate that franchise as far as possible. Like, you couldn't have pushed them in a farther direction from success. It was out of control. I think that the Jets are looking at, they're not going to have a winning season. I think that would be really bold to say. I think that if they're smart with what they do with Darnold and where they go moving forward, they definitely are a team to look out for. I mean, they have some pieces. They just are missing a lot. I mean, a lot. And that's kind of why I'm on the keep Darnold train for them. I think that keeping him and utilizing these high draft picks, they could put themselves in a really fucking good position in like 4 years, 3 years. I mean, I don't think we're looking at the Jets winning a Super Bowl this decade, but yeah, they're definitely in a better place.
Like, it's the Rex Ryan period for me. I really don't care about anything that they want that defensive guy. And so I think they found the defensive guy. They found the rah-rah guy, just like Rex Ryan was a rah-rah guy. And we'll see what happens, moving forward. But they need an offensive coordinator. And honestly, I think it's a good spot for him. But let's go ahead and get out of here.
I have a really good offensive coordinator for them, though.
Jason Garrett's not available.
Oh, no, he is. He's actually super available. It would suck to lose him, but since I've been manifesting this, I just think that I should comment that Jason Garrett would be such a good.
He wouldn't even need to move.
She has no idea. But she
I can unmute myself because I'm on the fucking company's. I can unmute myself. You fool.
I'm so not for doing that. But no, I love her. She's actually a partner on Join Us Circle, so I absolutely love it. She's provided more entertainment than I could ever provide. So we'll start with Matt real quick, just because he's right below me. Matt, where can we find you, man? You can unmute yourself. I'm not muting you like I muted Stephanie.
Yeah. You know what? I'm good for that at least once a show. DynastyVipers.com, at Dingus4. We're hitting the draft season right now. So the Dynasty Vipers with IDP guys, it's an IDP guys kind of project, are putting our second annual draft magazine together. I just got my virtual credentials from the Reese's Senior Bowl, so I'll be checking out some of that here as well. Doing these draft profiles. Obviously, catch us on the Vipercast next week. Stay tuned. Sunday, big announcement for a big guest.
The guest
I'm a
is
huge
not
fan
me.
of Dynasty Vipers. I am a huge fan of Dynasty Vipers. Like I watch them and all their episodes. You guys are amazing.
Admittedly, it's
Thank
one
you.
of the only casts that I can watch. Like, it's the only one that keeps my attention span.
Shade at Chase.
All right. Where can we find you, Jeff Bell?
On Twitter, for whom J Bell tolls, and I've got an article coming out here in the next couple of days with going for two. I took a look at the usage of some of the Konami quarterbacks, specifically in the red zone. I think there's some interesting things happening that teams have done. So look for that piece to drop here in a day or two.
Dan, the newest member to our team.
Newest member, join our circle. Yes. You can find me on Twitter at DFS with Dan. I'm usually just giving up DraftKings tokens and betting lines for FanDuel Sportsbook. And I write articles for Fantasy's Sake website at FFSQC on Twitter.
Love that. Absolutely love that. By the way, you got a +3 in the rating for Dan.
Well, +3. Nice. I like that. I'll take it.
And then, of course, Brad this week.
Yeah, I don't get it, but I'm sure I will.
You can find me at BradBolt1 and at Join Our Circle. I've got a mock draft article up right now on fantasyintervention.com. And just be bringing some more Dynasty articles, some draft stuff coming up. And maybe jump on one of these every once in a while.
Brad, we'd love to have you more often. We really would.
I'll try my best.
And of course, Steph, close us out.
Okay. An outro, shall I?
Yeah, you want to do an outro? Like
You can
full
find
on-
me at Stephanie Smalls with 2 L's. I said I was going to stop saying L's when I bought the handle, and it hasn't happened. The only thing I have left to say is that Jason Garrett is going to get hired by one team. I don't know what the fuck the team is going to be, but it's going to be great. That's it. That's all I have.
You can't even do the outro.
I don't know how to do a fucking outro, Chase. It's not in the handbook.
Listen, hey, my handbook is not available right now. However,
There's no fucking handbook. That's a joke.
there's no handbook. I appreciate you guys for coming in. You guys can find me at FF_intervention, and of course, join our circle _, where you guys can find all of our content constantly. Every day, we're coming out with something new. It's insane. It's just stupid. It's dumb. It's just, it's ridiculous. But we love it because. Oh my God, Seth. Thank you guys for listening in. You guys can find us at youtube.com/fantasy-intervention. Make sure you all subscribe. And thank you guys for letting us intervene with your fantasy football life. We're out.